Hello, readers. Welcome to reading class with me, Miss Taylor. I'm glad you're here. Alrighty, let's see. Are we ready to read? Do we have our textbook? Do we have a bookmark or a finger to follow along? Do we have our workbook, which is actually a packet right now? Do we have a pencil? All ready to go? Also, we should have some kind of a flat surface where we're doing our reading and our writing on, and our homework. It's a really good idea, very prudent to have a nice posture and somewhere nice and flat to sit, a table or a desk. Remember to track with your finger, to read each word carefully, and to pay attention to end marks. Our goals are to read with accuracy. That means reading each word correctly, and expression, so adding some feeling into our voices. We want to understand what's happening in the story. So, of course, we want to know what we're reading. We want to understand it and think about it. We want to make connections to characters' feelings and events in the story. Think about, has that ever happened to me? Have I ever felt like that? And we want to enjoy the story. So we know reading is thinking. There's so many things going on in our brains as we are reading. We are making connections, we're visualizing, we're imagining, we're asking questions, all these awesome things that we just want to keep in mind. Already, we had a new vocabulary sentence recently, and our sentence was the veterinarian gave the dogs a thorough examination. All right, so I'll say part of the sentence and then I'm going to stop and you say the rest of it. Ready? The veterinarian gave the dogs, good, a thorough examination. All right, let's try it again. The veterinarian, nice job. The veterinarian gave the dogs a thorough examination. And remember, the examination is like a checkup. And if it's thorough, it means it doesn't overlook anything. So it's making sure that all the steps are followed and it doesn't overlook anything. I want to make sure the dogs are healthy and ready for the big race, ready for the Iditarod. All right, so let's take a look at our word list. And for lesson 94, we're on page 116 in our textbooks, lesson 94. So please join me on page 116. And see if I can scoop myself out of the picture. There we go. Maybe I will scoop myself up here. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, so let's take a look at column 1. Word 1 is visibility. What word? Word 2 is fierce. What word? Word 3 is miserable. What word? Word 4 is courage. What word? Ooh, what virtue do you think of when we talk about courage? Yeah, fortitude, courage, bravery, endurance, perseverance. Word 5 is challenging. What word? Yeah, another word for very difficult is challenging. So if you go on a hike, if you're hiking with your family and you have a challenging hike, sort of up a big hill or a mountain, it means it's very difficult. Whew, it was challenging. Word 6 is dedicated. What word? Yeah, if something is dedicated to a person, it is done out of respect to that person. So if a race is dedicated to Jimmy, the race is done out of respect for Jimmy. So this word kind of makes me think of a book. A lot of times books are dedicated to people. It's kind of like honoring someone and respecting them. This book is dedicated to, someone in your family or a close friend or something. So dedicated. All right, let's try the fast way with column 1. Visibility, fierce, miserable, courage, challenging, dedicated. Nice job. Column 2. In column 2, we're going to go the fast way. Assistance, injured, according, healthy, certificates. Nice job. And column 3, alarm, blizzard, exchange, nightmare, checkpoint. Nice job. And the last column, column 4, let's see, word, whoops, I need to turn my paper here. Okay. Word 1, what words? Oh, sorry. Word 1 is hip joint. What word? Hip joint. So the place where the leg joins the hip is the hip joint. So everyone, see if you can find your hip joint. It's where your leg meets your hip. So if I find mine, I kind of have to stand up. Where your leg meets your hip. So right kind of in here, your hip joint. See if you can find your hip joint. Word 2 is limp. What word? Yeah, so if you have, so the opposite of stiff is limp. So everyone, what's the opposite of a stiff rag? A limp rag. So limp and stiff are opposites. Word 3 is x-ray. What word? Yeah, an x-ray is a photograph that shows someone's bones. X-ray. All right, word 4 is replace. What word? And word 5 is chugger. What word? Chugger. And I see there's a capital C, so that means it's what kind of a noun? It's a proper noun, so it must be someone or something's name. I'm making a prediction. Are you? I wonder who could be named Chugger. Think it's a person? Or maybe a dog. Alrighty, so let's take a look in our textbook at part B. The title of our story for today is Examination Day. And I think there's a picture of Chad, and then there's someone in this white coat here. Are you predicting who that person is? Yeah, maybe a veterinarian, right? All right, let's get ready to read. Fingers and bookmarks ready. Examination Day. Susie didn't like getting up early, so she set her alarm clock for 6:40. That gave her only 20 minutes before Chad would pick her up. 20 minutes before Chad would pick her up. So what time would Chad pick her up? 7 o'clock a.m. She dressed quickly, ran downstairs, and started gulping down her breakfast. So she's gulping down her breakfast. What can we infer or figure out? Either she's in a hurry, she's really excited about something, she's not paying much attention to her breakfast, so there must be something going on. Her mother said, "You're eating faster than Denali. Slow down." "Okay," she said. "Okay, Mom." All right. So let's see. The weather reporter on the radio was saying, "Looks as if the Iditarod will be run in winter weather this year. A large mass of cold, cold air is moving in from the north." The report gave Susie a nervous feeling. Bad weather can make the Iditarod a nightmare for the mushers and the dogs. Uh-oh. They have bad weather, really cold weather. Ooh, could be sort of miserable. 5 minutes later, Susie was standing outside, dressed in her parka. Her parka is like a warm winter coat with a hood parka. It was 7 o'clock. The wind was sharp and ugly, and Chad was late. Can you imagine Susie standing outside in her parka? "Chad, come on, Chad." When Chad's truck finally pulled up at 7:10, Susie noticed something very strange. So Chad's a little bit late. How late is he? 10 minutes. All right. Butch was in the back of the truck. He wasn't one of Chad's regular wheel dogs, so why would he be going for an examination? So he has Butch in the back. "Hey, Uncle Chad," she said. "Why is Butch in the truck?" Chad replied, "For the same reason that Denali's going to be in the truck." "What's that reason?" "I decided to run 16 dogs. 16? Susie understood what Chad said as soon as he spoke the words. What does that mean? Denali gets to go in the Iditarod. But it took her a few seconds to realize what she was about to shout. Denali's going to run in the Iditarod! Woohoo! She jumped up and down 3 times before she ran over to Denali's kennel. She opened the gate and told Denali to get on the truck. She said, "Come on, Denali." Then she opened the truck door, leaned over, and gave Chad a great hug. "Yes, yes!" she shouted. He said, "You're yelling in my ear." Can you kind of imagine what that would look like? It's kind of a funny scene. She hops in, she's so excited, and she gives him a hug, and he's like, "Settle down." All right. So remember, before Chad had intended he was going to bring 14 dogs, and now he's going to run 16. And that means that the 2 dogs that are going to be added to the team are Butch and Denali. And Susie is really excited. She hugged Chad a few more times, and then her thoughts suddenly changed. She wondered if Denali was really ready for the race. What if he got injured? What if the weather got so bad that the sled got lost? What if... I think she's thinking. Yeah, what if Denali gets hurt, or some dogs have even died in the Iditarod? Oh, that would be terrible. Sounds like she's all of a sudden her excitement has turned to worry. Has that ever happened to you? You're really excited about something, maybe doing something sort of adventurous or a little bit daring or a little bit scary, and then you're like excited, but then you're like, ooh, and you get really worried and anxious. That's happened to me before. Susie didn't ask Chad these questions, but she had a lot of others, and she asked them, one after another, as the truck drove to the examination station. She was still asking questions as she and Chad waited at the station while the dogs were being examined. A veterinarian and 3 assistants were checking Chad's team. The inside of the station was pretty cold because the dogs were more comfortable in cold than they were in heated places. At last, Susie asked Chad her last question. "Why did you decide to run with 16 dogs?" "Well," Chad said, "it was a tough decision. A team of 16 dogs is a headache, even if they work well together." Because remember, they kind of got tangled up before. "But I figured that I would be better off with more dogs. In case something happens, we'll still probably have enough dogs to finish the race." Please read the rest of the story on your own. Get ready for some questions. If you're still reading, please pause the video. All right, so why did Chad think he would do better off with 16 dogs instead of 14? Yeah, he thought, well, if something happens to some of the dogs, he'll still have enough dogs to finish the race. And how many dogs can a musher exchange during the race? None. Yeah. What happens to a dog that gets injured or hurt? Yeah, the musher takes it to the next checkpoint and leaves it there. And at the checkpoints, if a dog is hurt, the musher will leave the dog at the checkpoint, and then someone else will make sure that the dog gets help. And sometimes they will take the dog on a snowmobile back to get help, or even on an airplane. So they don't just leave the dog and like, see ya. They leave the dog with someone, and then to make sure that the dogs get the help they need. And everybody, according to the rules, a musher must have at least how many dogs on the gang line at the end of the race? 5. Yeah. So you have to have at least 5 dogs at the end of the race, which means if some dogs get hurt, or if it ends up being more trouble having a lot of dogs, you can leave some at checkpoints, and then other people will take care of them and make sure they get back to where they need to go. But at the end of the race, a musher has to have at least 5 dogs on the gang line. So, and yeah, Chad was going to, if 16 dogs turned out to be too much trouble, he was going to leave some dogs at a checkpoint. And everybody, how many dogs had a problem at the examination? Yep, just one. What was the name of that dog? Chugger. Yeah. And Chugger had a problem with her hip. And what job did Chugger have on the team? A wheel dog. That's right. So everybody, was the vet going to keep Chugger out of the race? Did the vet say, nope, Chugger's not allowed? No. So she didn't say Chugger couldn't run in the race, but she warned Chad that Chugger may have a problem. I wonder what Chad's going to do. All right, so we'll find out next time. And if we look at the picture, you can see the papers that the vet is holding. Those are certificates of health that show that the dogs are healthy and that they're ready to run in the race. And yeah, I wonder what Chad's going to do. He's got a decision to make. All right, readers. Well, let's see. What are we going to do now? You're going to reread the story one more time on your own. Answer the questions at the end of the story. And remember, you don't need to write down these questions, but you should be able to answer them correctly. And then you're going to complete your workbook, which again is a packet right now. A little packet here. And read for 20 more minutes. And second graders, for our packet today, we just have one complete sentence answer. It's for number 5. And for number 5 says, which 2 dogs would now be on the team? And so you can say blank and blank would now be on the team. Of course, capital letter and period, because every sentence needs a capital letter and a period. All right, thank you, readers. I will see you again soon. Bye.